Hello everyone and welcome to the Nashville Fairgrounds for the running of the Budweiser 500 here for the 12th event of the Sundrop Cup Series season. We're fast approaching the chase with only 7 races to go in the fight for those 12 chase spots, and we got a big fight on our hands from about second on back. But we got a lot of guys here, 35 as a matter of fact, in the field today for this Nashville event. Stephen Wallace Jr. in the 65 is your pole sitter. A great run for the GDI team getting themselves up front. Stephen Wallace Jr. has 1 win in the NSDCA, coming at South Boston a couple years back. Mountain Dew Custom Series for Cloud Foster Racing Operations. The 83 Ryan Butcher rolls off at second, one of the worst of the 5 really SBR cars. Butcher trying to swing his season around. He's 23rd in points. It's going to be a lot to try to get him into the championship fight, but a win could put him in a fight for a wild card. Cody Goforth rolls off third in the 27, and DJ Gibson in fourth. Nice to see those two drivers on the come up here. Gibson, 24th in points, missed the first 4 races of the season. A great average finish, though. If his average finish was how he ran the rest of the season with a 13.86, he would be 7th in the point standings in that 53 car. Sadly, he's probably not going to make the chase this season due to missing those first races for injury. Looking further back, Jose Perez is in the 63 this week. Joseph Strigley Racing went to a big expansion. They introduced the 36 last week. They got sponsorship for that, and now Joseph Strigley's in the 33 at the back, but it is the 63 of Jose Perez here this weekend. He rolls off in the 6th spot. Jay Jefferson 7th, Eli Bright, your winner from yesterday. He starts in 8th. Kyle Corbett 9th, Peter Onjak in 10th. Corbett was the one who went on a wild ride at the end that race. Brady Burkhardt can't wait for the regular season to end. He wants to grab those bonus points for winning the regular season title, but he wants wins too, because if guys like Jay Jefferson and Brandon Morris, Tim Foster, Carter Friesen, if they win multiple races this season, they could pass him in bonus points. Brady really needs to put it into gear now, try to get that first win on the season. Another driver looking for his first win. 2nd in points, DJ Curtis, 46 points behind the Juniper 99. Curtis wants to get himself back to victory lane. He's been the strongest driver for Monster all season long. Even though Friesen has a win, Curtis has the consistency. About 4 times this season, he's been leading in the final laps before something untimely took him out of a chance at the victory. Gatlin Downey, Carson Bauer starting a bit further back there. There you see Max Anderson in the TobyChristie.com number 36 car. Anderson is driving for Joseph Strigley Racing this weekend. And Dusty Neal, who's had some pretty poor luck the last few races, trying to turn it around here at the short tracks. Spurley Tubes in the 79 this weekend. Logan Cloud back with the NOS Energy Drink colors in the number 50 car. A bit further back, though, you see the 06 this week, driven by Adam Mitchell. He drove the KGM 25 in the race yesterday. Ran decently, but right now going to try to put HBP into a good run for this weekend. There's Joseph Strigley in the 33. It's the 36, but with a 3. And further back, making her first ever start in the NSDCA is Lotus Disparito, following the Danny Lloyd scheme of getting into the NSDCA. Lloyd made his debut at Atlanta in the number 1 car. Disparito is going to make her first start here in the 34th position for Johnson Performance in the number 51 car. And Diego Yepes 35th. That's not because of inspection. He was just very slow in qualifying. 35 drivers ready for 120 laps. Sure to be exciting here at Nashville for the Budweiser 500. Let's go ahead down trackside to get the mans to fire the engines here at Nashville. Pepsi and the NSDCA have teamed up this season to bring you the Pepsi Pole Award for the fastest qualifier in all 26 Sundrop Cup Series races this season. This week it's Stephen Wallace Jr., a short track ace for Gatlin Downey Incorporated, who's looking for his and the team's first win this season. Can the number 65 break through to win this event? We'll have to wait and see here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. With that, the engines are fired. We're ready for 120 laps around this Nashville Fairgrounds circuit. Nice to see 35 teams making their way out to this new racetrack in the Cup Series schedule and in the National Series competition. We've been here before last season with the Molson Modifieds. That was basically the test race. The test brought in a pretty good crowd. It had some pretty decent racing, so we're here for Cup and truck racing this weekend. The truck race, bit controversial at the end with a lot of fuel strategy going on, a lot of people running out at the end. But again, it's a brand new track. You got those growing pains of figuring out, you know, how long your car is going to last, how long the fuel and tires will last around that racetrack. We'll see what happens after 120 laps here today. Stephen Wallace Jr., Ryan Butcher leading us down. Goforth, Gibson, Allison, Perez, Jefferson, Bright, Corbett, and Onjak, your top 10. Green flags in the air. We are racing at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Goforth gives Stephen Wallace Jr. a bump into that race lead, and now Goforth trying to make a move for that second spot. A much better restart for that inside line than Roger Ray had last race, as he fell back pretty quickly early on. Goforth clears himself into second, and it's Stephen Wallace Jr. in the race lead after one lap through this one. Back in third, Ryan Butcher clears himself clean, and now Allison versus Gibson for that fourth and fifth position. Jose Perez back there in sixth in the 63 as the field comes on around. Scary thing to point out, we saw an opening incident there in the truck race, so we'll see if these guys at the back will be able to keep it clean for the most part. 2x2 could probably work here, but you might be getting some bumping and banging at the back because you really can't pass around this racetrack very often, but especially when you're in the middle of a pack that's all 2x2. Ryan Butcher side by side with Goforth does not happen coming off the corner there, and now Butcher will not be able to make a move on Goforth that time by. Gibson up to fifth in that 53, sixth Jose Perez, seventh Eli Bright as they come off of the corner. Jay Jefferson drops that 48 back into the 8th position so far, but they're single file up in front for the most part. Caution's out, yellow flag is out, cars all over the place. Jacob Edson, Lotus Disparito down pit road immediately. Hagen's in it. Up and over is Austin Johnson. Riley Spurleytube with damage. And now the 82 and 51 are already taking tires on pit road. The crews are working on that. And now the field's going to have to split up and come down pit road. We'll see who stays out and comes in. Looks like Ryan Butcher is going to stay out in the 83. Kyle Corbett in the 75. The 25 of Carson Bowers. Burkhart in the 99 is going to pick up some spots. DJ Curtis, Zachary DeLello. Back there, Matty Porta, Brandon Morris, Max Anderson, Austin Murray are all going to stay out. Looks like the 33 of Strigley might have damage. Yepes is going to stay out. The 33 will stay out as well, but there's Hagen and Spurleytube bringing their cars down pit road. And man, that was a wild ride already. Stephen Wallace Jr. trying to get out, but the officials blocking him in. Of course, he can't go out when the leaders are pacing on around. But here comes the field now, cycling their way back on out onto the track. Jefferson almost into freezing back there. So we'll get a pit report up there after this commercial break. But we got a big crash to open the start of this event, and some fuel strategy already being played. Some guys staying out, some guys coming in. Looks like Cody Goforth is going to bring that 27 back in to top off on fuel. So we'll see what the strategy plays. The people that pit early in the truck race were not able to make it to the end, but then again, no one would have been able to make it to the end except the top 5, as those were the only ones that did not run out of fuel in the truck race. Ryan Butcher stayed out. Kyle Corbett, Carson Bowers, Brady Burkhart, DJ Curtis, your top 5, but a big one early on here at Nashville. It's going to bring us to the first caution of the day. Let's take a quick look at that. Austin Johnson's going for a wild ride here in that 95. Hooked by Kukulon on the backstretch, going 3 wide. Kukulon hits him in the side, flips that 95 up and over. Multiple flips and sliding on his side until it comes to rest on all 4s. Larry Hagen, Riley Spurleytube, and Joseph Strigley also get pieces of that one. Some very torn up race cars here. Kukulon's car pretty much destroyed. Riley Spurleytube, Austin Johnson's car is out of this one. Larry Hagen with some heavy damage as well. On board with Larry Hagen and the 21 team. They were at the back of this one, running at the back of this race, and just like the truck race, a big one strikes on the opening laps there to take out some drivers. So Austin Johnson turned by Kukulon in this opening laps will bring us to the first caution of the day here at Nashville. Back live here at Nashville. We're 9 of 120 complete, coming on to lap 10 this time by Butcher, Corbett, Bowers, Burkhart, Curtis, DeLello, Morris, Porta, Max Anderson, Austin Murray, all stayed out. Everyone else came into pit road except for the 33 and I believe the 77 who were beat out by those guys that were pacing around, or on pit road, I should say. Ryan Butcher, Kyle Corbett, Carson Bowers, Brady Burkhart, DJ Curtis, your top 5. Green flags back in the air. We're racing once again here at Nashville. Let's see who will wreck this time. But Butcher's going to walk it a bit wide. That might be an opportunity for Corbett to get up there, try to lead some laps. Every time that the number 75 has been piloted by Kyle Corbett, it's DNF the race. 2 mechanical failures and a crash in his 3 starts this season for the team. Now he's up in second, trying to hang on and show some speed there for that race team. Brady Burkhart in 4th. He's your points leader, a dominant driver, a dominant force this season by 46 points over the driver right behind him, and DJ Curtis. Top 7 maintaining single file. Matty Porta ducking down pit road in the 20 car. Looks like that is an unscheduled pit stop there for Matty Porta, that team. So that's going to cost the Sauber Racing team a big amount of track position and points. That's going to be big in the championship hunt for Porta, as he is 7th in points, losing a lot of time there as he's going to take some tires on pit road. Might have been a flat tire on the 20 car. Brady Burkhart, though, up into the 3rd spot as he just passed Carson Bowers. Burkhart on the move, trying to win that first race of the season. DJ Curtis in 5th, looking for that first race win as well as Ryan Butcher, Carson Bowers. So this front group, all the way back to Morris, or all the way back to DeLello in 6th, have never won in the Cup Series yet this season as they go down. But Butcher out in front. Porta coming off of pit road. Hopefully they will keep it clean there, as he's going to have to merge back up on this backstretch. Very small racetrack, so really you lose a lot of time if you're on pit road. He's now 2 laps down in that 20 car, going to have to move his way up. Carson Bowers back to the inside on Burkhart. Battle for the 3rd starting to heat up. Battle for the 3rd position starting to heat up, and that's going to give DJ Curtis possibly a chance to get to the inside of Burkhart. Not going to happen there, though, as they come off the corner. Corbett now chasing down Ryan Butcher up in front, but Burkhart still working on Carson Bowers. Curtis back there in 5th. DeLello 6th, Morris 7th. Max Anderson, they stayed out for the JSR car, and now he just scraped the wall there, but the 36 team with TobyChristieMotor.com sponsoring that car this weekend for I believe 9 races this season. He's up in the 8th position right now, running well, but again, this is more on strategy right off the bat by not pitting under that caution. Kyle Corbett is all over the back of Butcher, though, trying to force him into a mistake, but Butcher, calm and collected, a very fast race car driver. Corbett is right now facing one of the best in the business, but here he comes down to the inside looking for a move. Not going to happen, as Butcher was able to carry more momentum in there, but he made a shot for the race lead. Not going to happen. Going to lose some time down the front as Carson Bowers in that 25 now coming up, and he's going to try to make a charge after Ryan Butcher. Further back, Morris looking to the inside of DeLello. You got Murray possibly looking on Max Anderson further back, as Morris now dives to the inside of Zachary DeLello. That is for that 6th position here, and that's going to give that 55 that spot. Possibly DeLello fights back. Max Anderson, Austin Murray sitting there waiting. Again, it's hard to get a pass done here at Nashville, so those two might be watching Morris and trying to see if they can just sneak under DeLello as they go on around, and it looks like that's what Max Anderson's going to do in that 36. Dives himself to the inside of Zachary DeLello in the 57. So I thought there was battle up front, not happening. This is the first battle on the racetrack, so we'll keep our cameras on that. Irving Allison in the 30, now bringing himself up into the mix. Max Anderson on the inside. It's an underpowered car versus that 57, so he's going to have to hope the track is what's really giving him help here, being on that inside line. But we'll see if DeLello can just power off the corner. 36 a little loose there. Coming off, he's going to lose that position there. He's going to maintain his position back there as they run. But Ryan Butcher now starting to pull away over Corbett. One thing to point out about the Nashville Fairgrounds, we saw in the truck race, lap traffic played a big key role in that middle portion of the race. So you see right now, you got a big group of cars in this back half of the grid that could be lap traffic soon. They're about half a lap behind race leader Ryan Butcher. Looking further back now, Stephen Wallace Jr. working on up. They did not take tires. No one took tires under that caution except Edson and Disparito, who came down probably just to avoid the big one that was happening in front of them with Austin Johnson, Riley Spurley, Tubenhagen. But they did come down, and apparently they were allowed to work on their cars, so they came down and they did 2 tires on those cars, so maybe they'll be able to mount a charge through the field as this race progresses. There's the 2 JSR cars. Jose Perez, the actual sponsored 63, and the backup car for this weekend, the 33 of Joseph Strigley. A bit of front end damage to that from that incident. He's trying to hang on, but a good run right now. 16th right now on track for that 33 team. So this is a great day for JSR as they run right now. It looked like there's some debris that these guys might have ran over. Someone might have gotten some front end or rear end damage. You see Kukulon in the 12 was pretty much in that incident, flipped the guy over after he flipped last time out at Texas World a couple weeks back. And this 12 car now 28th. He's beaten some drivers and he has damage. So nice to see Kukulon running pretty well there, even with the damage that is done to that race car. Doesn't look like anything's changed up front. 26 of 120 complete as the top 5 maintains their distance between each other and single filing around. Most of the field it looks like they've kind of calmed down. Porta now looking to the inside of Bright. Porta is 2 laps down, so his race is most likely over unless a very well-timed caution could happen later on in this event. But as we said, fuel window yesterday was predicted to be 65 to 70 laps. It was more like 60 to 65 laps. So we'll see how that works out for this Cup race. If they can make it past halfway, they should be good, barring a green-white checkered. However, you might see some pit strategy coming on in. Plus, those guys that came down and topped off on fuel on lap 7 could run an extra 7 laps, possibly get them maybe to lap 70 and beyond. Caution is out as Colton Lane stalls on track, and DJ Curtis right into the back of him. And that's the entirety of Monster Motorsports pretty much taken out again. Logan Cloud in the 50 and Carter Friesen in the 85 are all that's left, but the 05 of Lane stalls out on track. Now these guys are coming down pit road, and if this caution right here means anything, it means we will be off cycle of possibly having to deal with a poor pitting conditions and having to pit like halfway. Matthew Eves came down pit road already, but you see the field working their way onto pit road as they all come into the service of their crew, and it looks like that is the whole field coming on in this time. So we'll see. Most likely 4 tires and fuel is the key here. You've already ran 30 laps on those tires. You had a couple caution laps, but yeah, come on in. Get some repairs. Colton Lane stalls on track. DJ Curtis comes out and nowhere to go. And contact there will cost DJ Curtis a chance at even finishing this race, really. Carson Bauer's going to lead him out. Ryan Butcher's out. It looks like a 2-tire call on Butcher's car. Stephen Wallace Jr. Might fall back. Maybe SWJ wasn't as high as I thought, and I forgot he's not the race leader, so we'll get a report of that as soon as we get back from this commercial break. But as you see, pit road pretty busy. You got to turn very hard to get out of your pit stall, and the rest of the field coming on out. Nice to see not many incidents there, but Cody Goforth is now dropped to the back once again. Ryan Butcher, though, your race leader. Bowers, Corbett, Burkhart, and there's Porta in the 20 laps down, but Brandon Morris will be your top 5 as we go back racing. We'll get a pit report after this, but we got to see what happened to Colton Lane and that caused and took out teammate DJ Curtis. Coming on around, Colton Lane's doing all fine and dandy back here in about the mid-pack. But coming through, he's been complaining of issues for a while, and the oil pressure just immediately dropped on him. Now he's trying to get out of the way of everyone. Peter Ojak going wide. They go 4 wide to split him, but he missed pit entry. He just didn't know it was going to shut off that early, and it stalls out right there. Coming around the corner, though, you're going to see DJ Curtis on the inside. Nowhere to go. The spotters were just not communicating, apparently, and hits into the back of Colton Lane. Heavy damage to both. Lane, they're going to try to fix that, but the 5 team has taken the car behind the wall. DJ Curtis's day done. Monster Motorsports not having a good time here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Back live at the Budweiser 500, going back racing here, lap 33 of 120. Whole field took those 4 tires and fuel under caution, meaning these guys can now make it till about lap 90 if this race can go green. Until then, Ryan Butcher, your race leader. Carson Bauer 2nd, Kyle Corbett 3rd, Burkhart 4th, and now Morris in 5th. Zachary DeLello 6th, Max Anderson 7th, 8th is Irving Allison, 9th Diego Yepes, and 10th Austin Murray. The reason the 47 was on pit road when that caution came out, they were reporting a possible loss of a cylinder in the 47. They tried to repair that on pit road, put him back out here, but he is now a lap down in the 30th position. Matty Porta also a lap down. He's right behind the top 4, though, seeing if he can get at least one of his laps back. Coming back around, Butcher leads them back down. Green flags back in the air, racing once again at Nashville, and Bowers is not going to make short work of this. He dives to the inside looking for the race lead on this restart. and going to get the push from Corbett. Bowers wants to lead this one. This might be the best opportunity because once he gets single filed out, it's hard to make a move. Carson Bowers in the 25. The push from Corbett's going to last and give it to the race lead to the Verizon 25. Bowers pulls away for that race lead position. Now Corbett looking for second on Butcher there as they come on around. And Corbett now, will he try to clear that 83? Butcher fights back on the outside. Bowers absolutely pulling away, but Corbett will clear that time. Give Kyle Corbett the second spot, and Butcher now back a couple spots. He's back to the third position as they run here in Nashville. Burkhart fourth, Morris fifth, DeLello sixth. Yepes trying to make short work of Max Anderson there for that seventh position as that 77 started this race from the rear. 35th. With a very poor qualifying effort, and he's up inside the top 10 in that 77 car. Some of it was strategy. Those guys that stayed out on that opening caution when everyone came in this time, the strategy was thrown out the window and their track position was saved. So now they're inside this top 10 fighting up here. You got Irving, Allison, Austin Murray also in the top 10. There is Eves. He's one lap down. Jefferson, Stephen Wallace Jr., Eli Bright, your race winner from yesterday. There's Jose Perez up there. And it looks like the only JSR car now not inside the top 20 is Joseph Strigley. As they're going to get in. Carter Friesen spins down the front straightaway in the 85 as they go 3 wide. And that is now the 4th Monster Motorsports driver involved in an incident today. At least this time, he gets through cleanly. Carson Bowers leads him back around in the 25. And we will have another caution here at Nashville to figure out what's going on with this field. There's Joseph Strigley in the 33. Just going back to see him, and you see Friesen, when that caution came out, he was spinning across the line, so Strigley gets to give him that position back, and now Friesen gets to talk to Strigley a little bit up there. Not too happy with that. Now the field's divergent. Corbett, Butcher, Burkhart, Yepes, DeLello, Allison coming on in. We'll see if it's topping off on fuel or playing those tires. Again, we said these teams would learn a lot from yesterday's truck race. We learned about the fuel window. We learned how these cars would handle around this racetrack and how hard it is to pass here. But it also showed that the fuel could run out if you think you can make it to the end. You still want to come in and maybe top off every so often. And it looks like that's what these guys are doing, trying to last a bit longer there on this strategy to try to get them to the end if this race can go green. It won't get him to the end, but it might have a later pit stop for him in this event. But we'll see how this goes. Bowers there. Now Porta is going to bring it on in. Eves is going to bring it on in. So there's your lap traffic that are going to get out of the way. That's going to put Max Anderson for Joseph Strigley Racing in the 3rd position for this 36 car. Logan Cloud's inside the top 10. There's Tony Wallen. DJ Gibson's bringing the 53 down. I think he wanted to come in without messing up his car too badly. But a big portion of the field came on down there and took that extra fuel, so we'll see how it'll last. Coming around, 41 laps complete here at Nashville. Bring you guys back to the action after this. We'll get a replay to see what happened to bring out this caution. You saw it from our live cam. Joseph Strigley goes 3 wide. Gibson's on the inside, and they're just going to clip that 85, spins him around. Basically no damage. No one hit him outside of the little bumps he got to turn him around. So Carter Friesen with a simple spin. They call the caution. He gets to line back up in this race and continue on. Unlike his other Monster Motorsports teammates, Friesen brings out the 3rd caution of the day. Lights on the pace car go out that time by 43 laps as we are on right now. Carson Bowers leads, Brandon Morris 2nd, Max Anderson 3rd, Austin Murray 4th, and Jay Jefferson in 5th. Pole sitter Stephen Wallace Jr. is up to 6th, Eli Bright 7th, Tip Foster 8th, Logan Cloud in 9th, and Danny Lloyd this week, the 42, rolls off in 10th. Downey 11th, Neil 12th, Strigley 13th, Edson 14th, and in 15th is Adam Mitchell. The rest of the field, of course, a lot of things swapping around. The fuel strategy playing big here. So we'll see, honestly. This might be from Texas World last time out as well, because they had a bunch of cautions and then a long green flag run to the end. And it was Jay Jefferson who came down, got 4 tires, got that fuel, and used it all up to win the race. So we'll see if maybe that'll be another event here this weekend. Green flags in the air. Bowers with a good restart, but Morris with a great one. He's going to try to do what Bowers did, but Carson's going to defend into one, slowing them all down. And can Morris get there? Don't think he will. I think Bowers might be able to hold him off for another few laps here as he takes the race lead, or remains in the race lead. Morris, though, hot on his heels. Look at Max Anderson up in 3rd, the 36, wheeling this car around right there. A driver who has been a journeyman this season, has driven with so many different teams, has truck cup rides, Mountain Dew Custom Series rides, and he's now in third for JSR as they run currently. Tip Foster in the 40 is going to look to the inside of Bright. Bright was your race winner from the truck race yesterday. Now Foster looking to the inside of him in that 40 and 28 battle for that 7th position as they go at it here at Nashville, down into 1. Top 6 stay in single file. Foster making a move on Bright, trying to make it stick. We'll see if he can make it stick. But that outside line is really good through the entrance of 1 and 2, and really coming off. It's poor through 3 and 4. One car on pit road. That's the 33 of Strigley. They might be trying to repair some of the damage that was in that early incident. He might have been just dropping like a fly there, or dropping like a rock. Now Jefferson on the back of Murray. He's going to move up, or move to the inside, looking for that 4th position as they come on around. And now Jay Jefferson sliding up side by side with Austin Murray in the Mrs. Baird's Bread Bakery, number 48. Running very well today for Jay. Of course, coming off of his 2nd win of the Cup Series season, looking for his 3rd today if he can make it happen as they run around here. Joseph Strigley in the 33 back on track. You saw him a bit further up, so these guys might have to deal with some lap traffic early. But Carson Bowers, last week at Texas World, he was in the seat to win it. He had a 3.5-second lead, but the tires did not last on that old surface. Jay Jefferson blew by him. He had one last gasp at it in the closing laps, but was not able to make the pass and catch him. And Jefferson went on to win that by 3 seconds over Bowers. A 2nd place finish was good for him, but he's still only 18th in points, and he needs a win to even be in the wild card situation, or he'd have to point his way inside the top 10 in points with 7 races to go. 6 races to go, I think, after this one, if I'm doing the math right. But still, the time's running out for drivers to point their way into the chase if they're far back in points, like outside the top 15 maybe, because they're about 30, 40 points back, and you need to run very well in a couple weeks to get that. But Carson Bowers is doing as best he can right now. He's up in the race lead. Morris 2nd closing in the Lays 55. Last time he was in the Lays, went to victory lane at Darlington, so maybe that car is going to be good luck for him. But Carson Bowers trying to get that 1st win and show he's championship material still in that number 25, even in the Cup Series. He's out in front. Max Anderson in 3rd, the 36. Jefferson has moved to 4th. Murray 5th. Stephen Wallace Jr. 6th. 7th is Foster. Now 8th, Logan Cloud, his 2nd race back since his untimely removal of himself from competition at the beginning of the season, opening that 91 seat up to Austin Murray, who's not been doing too amazing things with it. As you see, Kukulon just came off pit road. They were repairing more of that 12 car. But happy to see Cloud in the top 10. A nice run there. And he's right now the highest running Monster Motorsports driver and the only one that hasn't been in an incident today. So Diego Yepes probably not too happy with how the field's been treating Monster Motorsports today. But Cloud running inside the top 10. A great run in his comeback in that number 50 car. Eli Bright 9th. 10th is Danny Lloyd. Lloyd's been really impressive in his starts in the NSDCA this season. Cup Series, maybe not. He's been driving mainly for underdog teams, brand new teams like Tony Zhang Motorsports. You got Reed Racing's Cup program, and now the 42 of Digital Motorsports. 2 of those teams just made their debut to the NSDCA this year. But the 42 team, right now inside the top 10. Nice to see Danny Lloyd really showing that short track potential here in that 42. And you see Dusty Neal in 11th. Really needs a good run, and I don't even think it needs to be a great run. Just a top 10 run for this 94 team to get themselves back into the swing of things, because they have had some bad luck the last few weeks. A couple DNFs. Of course, that issue at Pocono. They're right now in the 11th position. Look at Adam Mitchell up to 12th in that 06. Really driving the wheels off this thing. Burkhart back in 14th. He's only finished outside of the top 5 3 times this season, but he has no top 10 finishes that weren't also a top 5. So it's basically boom or bust for Burkhart, but for about 75% of this season, he's been running pretty much with a big boom. Corbett back to 16th after that early pit stop. Edson 17th. He had those 2 fresher tires, but when everyone came down for 4, that pretty much took his strategy out. Butcher Yepes, they topped off on fuel, trying to make their way through. Lotus Disparito right now fighting herself into the top 20, side by side with Yepes. Good thing that it's at a short track, so it's easier probably. The equipment gap isn't too big between them, because Johnson Performance very underpowered compared to the drivers they're racing with right now, but that's also from that strategy. Carter Friesen back up to 24th, and it looks like the last car in the lead lap is DJ Gibson, but did Eves get back on the lead lap? No, he is 1 lap down back there. Strigley is 1 lap down in the 29th position. And we got a battle for this top spot. Max Anderson now in the 36, trying to make a move on Morris there. Not going to happen, but now he's trying to hold off Jay Jefferson. What a run for Joseph Strigley Racing right now. Got a brand new sponsor to the team in that 36 car, and now Max Anderson in his first start with the team. He's been driving a couple races earlier this year, has DNF'd all of them for Johnson Performance in the Cup Series, and now he's running in the 3rd position. Maybe it is JP that's the issue there, and maybe not JSR, but they are running very well. We've seen Strigley and his team have done a lot of weird strategies during this season as Morris is going to get up there, bumps Bowers. Now he's trying to physically move him out of the way, sliding up, battle for the race lead as Morris in the 55 wants to get there. He wants to clear him coming off of the corner and give the lead to the 55 of Brandon Morris. Bowers going to fight back, not going to be enough, and the 55 just went up there, moved Bowers, and shoved him out of the way. He takes the race lead here at Nashville just over the halfway point. Bowers is not going to be too happy about that. He gets right back there in 2nd, chasing down Morris. The Lapper's not really seeing too much action here, as we've only been green, I think, about 20 laps since that restart. Now Max Anderson in the 36 is hunting this 25 as Morris begins to pull away. Jefferson in the 48 back there in 4th, trying to close in on this battle. You got Murray and Stephen Wallace Jr. back there as well. But again, this 36 team, they've done a lot of strategy this season at JSR. They got Strigley into the race lead at Atlanta. They really screwed up the strategy at Pensacola and cost him pretty much everything that he was working for that race. Went from 2nd to DNFing in 31st. But Max Anderson driving the wheels off this thing in the 36 today. We'll see if their strategy will work. We had half the field stay out, half of them come in and top off a bit more. So really right here, you see we're just past the 55 to go, I think, coming around 55 to go, meaning no green-white checkered. You should be able to make it to the end of the race if you pit from here on out. Especially the later you pit, the more likely you'll get to the end of this race. So we'll see when everyone comes on in. Probably going to stretch it the longest. You might see some people trying to divert the strategy, but this is a short track, and green flag pit stops could be chaotic. You could have incidents on pit road, incidents coming off of pit road. So that could trap a portion of the field a lap down, and that's the scary thing about these short tracks, is especially if you get a caution in the middle of a pit cycle and you end up lapping cars, because it's a very short distance around the track. You can't get a 4-tire pit stop done in that time. You could have entirely new fields at the end. You could have entirely new drivers up front. You could have the leaders halfway through the middle of the pack on restarts because of all the guys that are in front of them that didn't come in if that caution came out, So we're going to have to hope that maybe if this race can go green the rest of the way, it could come down to pace and strategy at the end on when you pit for these last laps to get the best tires to run to the end. But as you see, the 55 has been pulling away from Bowers ever so slightly. Bowers has Max Anderson and Jay Jefferson all over the back of him. Austin Murray in that 5th position. Stephen Wallace Jr. 6th. Foster 7th. Cloud 8th. Eli Bright up to 9th. Danny Lloyd in 10th. Looks like this top group right here hasn't really changed much. Neal 11th, 12th is Adam Mitchell, 13th Gatlin Downey, 14th Burkhart, 15th Kyle Corbett, 16th Irving Allison, 17th Jose Perez, 18th is Lotus Disparito, who's really driving her way through the field right now. Nice to see that 51 team doing so well. Hopefully they'll be able to show, be able to have something to show for that inside the top 20 at the end of this race. Jacob Edson battling 19th with teammate Ryan Butcher now, so that's 19th and 20th. Yepes 21st. Cody Goforth is 22nd. DeLello 23rd. Peter Onjak 24th. Battle between Gibson and Friesen for 25th, 26th. Larry Hagan 27th. Matthew Eves 1 lap down at 28th. Joseph Strigley 1 lap down at 29th. 30th is Matty Porta, 2 laps down, and 31st, Sebastian Kukul on 3 laps down with 4 drivers out. DJ Curtis, Colton Lane, Riley Spurleytube, and Austin Johnson. We're going to go ahead, take a quick commercial break here at the Budweiser 500. Bring guys back to the action here at Nashville right after these words from our sponsors.
When I wake up Well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. And when I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more, just to be in the middle of 1,000 miles, to fall down at your door.
Back live here at Nashville. Morris maintains the race lead. Carson Bauer second. Max Anderson third. Jay Jefferson fourth. And fifth still Austin Murray. So the top five has pretty much stayed the same. A bit of jostling around did happen during the commercial break. Jay Jefferson made a look to the inside of the 36 into 3 a couple laps ago. Did not work. He's going to try it again. Not going to work this time either. Austin Murray almost got by the 48 because of that move a couple laps ago. But right now, the top 6 staying pretty much nose to tail. We did notice we have gone over 30 laps in this green flag run, and lap traffic in the truck race was pretty severe. Again, the Cup Series, a bit less diverse field in terms of equipment, so that's probably why a lot of these teams are able to maybe maintain pace a bit better. Plus, there's less field on the lead lap, actually, so 28. Joseph Strigley does have those fresher tires, too, because they did come down, put 4 fresh ones on the car while repairing it. So that's why Strigley's able to pull away from the race leaders a bit as this race continues on. So probably not going to see too much lap traffic unless we do see some green flag pit stops. So that should be nice there for these race leaders. It could be on pace, but Brandon Morris in this 55, that move on Bowers could be the move of the race at the end of this. He's pulled away. Bowers can't catch him. It's not a very big margin. It's only 0.7 of a second, but that's pretty big at a short track where your lap times are about 20 seconds around. Speaking of lap times, we'll take a quick look at the fastest lap of the race. An 18.737 set by Austin Murray, and an 18.794 second quickest lap time of the race goes to Max Anderson. And that's just showing how fast this 36 team is this weekend. This could be a race that, if this race goes green the entire way, Max Anderson gets a good pit stop, he might be able to make a move maybe on Bowers or Morris and possibly win this race for that Joseph Strigley Racing team. JSR has not gotten a finish higher, has never gotten a top 10 in the NSDCA, let alone a top 5. I'm pretty sure still their highest finish is Joseph Strigley's 19th earlier this season at Daytona, at least in the Cup Series, that is, and there was a 19th in the trucks before. So right now, this 36 team, I guess opening a second car for this year, for the remainder of this year, is performing well because Max Anderson has had the strategy to get himself up front. He has the track position, which is very key here at Nashville, and he's on his way to possibly getting a career high finish for himself and a first top 5 for Joseph Strigley Racing if they can hang on for these last 34 laps here at Nashville. But right now it looks like he's holding up Jefferson, Murray right behind Jay. So Jay might be getting a little impatient now that the 91's all over his back bumper trying to get around there. But we'll see how that goes as Jefferson chases him on down. We're down 33 laps to go. They pit on, I believe it was about lap 40. Or lap 30 or 40 they pit on. I don't exactly remember the details of my own race. But either way, you're going to be seeing guys coming down within the next 10 to 15 laps, maybe the next 20. But at some point before this race is over, I'm highly sure that this field's going to have to come in and get at least fuel in the car. You might be able to play tires and get out maybe a 7-second advantage or something, which could be huge, honestly, over the guys that are on 4 tires. But I don't know. Let's take a look at the lap times there. It's lap times. It looks like the tires are only dropping off by about a second from the fastest laps. So it's a big margin, of course, at a short track, but you still could possibly, with track position here at Nashville being key, You could possibly go for fuel only if this race goes to the end green and you stay out, or not stay out. If you pit for fuel only and a majority of the field comes in for 4 tires for a last few lap stint, that could be big, and that could get you possibly a race win with how close this field is right now, as top 19 are separated by only 8 seconds. A pit stop is about 14 seconds, 14 to 15 seconds for a 4-tire stop. Fuel only, and only having to fuel it maybe half if you're just willing to gamble on no green, white, checkered, and just gamble on getting to the end of the race. You could easily maybe make that a 6-second pit stop. So this could be interesting if we do get green flag the rest of the way. They should pit. I mean, they should pit. I don't think our stats guy is full of it this week, as Jefferson's going to look for another move on Anderson. Just cannot get anything done on that 36 car. And again, that's a testament to how maybe poorly this package is for Nashville. The truck race had some decent passing in it. There was a lot of battling between the drivers in the mid-pack, especially when you got up to the up to lap traffic, but Brandon Morris in the 55 brings that car in. So here we go. This will play the hand for many teams if they were trying to stretch it a bit more. Morris is going to have those fresher tires. That's how you can make moves on this racetrack. There's Jacob Edson bringing the 82 on in, and this is now going to shake the field up. Carson Bowers is going to bring it on in there. Max Anderson as well. Austin Murray is going to get the race lead, and he's going to lead that lap as they go across the line in the 91. Looks like Disparito in the 51 also coming on in there. Oh, that's the 36. My bad. Ignore that pit box. Jacob Edson coming back out. He had those 4 fresh tires now. He's good. And there comes the rest of the field around Tib Foster's going to come on in. Cloud's in. Bright's in. Neal's in. So there's 25 laps in this race. You're not making it to the end. There's no way you're making it to the end just on this fuel run. Well, if you're still out there, you're not making it to the end. You're not stretching the fuel an extra 25 laps, even if you did come in maybe a couple laps later than everyone else. There's no way you're stretching the fuel, so the whole field's going to have to come in, and we're going to start taking a look at how this field's running. There is Morris. He's going to blow past Bowers, so as that runs, it looks like the 55 and 25 are back at the same interval between each other. That could be the battle for the race win as they come on around here. Murray's now in. The 65 is on in. Give the race lead now to the 99 of Burkhart. He's going to go by Murray and going to pick up a bonus point there in the 99, so Burkhart's your new race leader. Kyle Corbett's second, Irving Allison third. That's Perez in fourth. Disparito is fifth. Sixth, Butcher. Yepes, Onjak go fourth. DeLello, Friesen, Gibson, Strigley. Well, no, Strigley did pit. Hagen, and those guys all pit. Now you see Morris there is actually behind the 47 and 33 in terms of racing, in terms of position right now, because they've been a lap down for longer than these guys have. But Morris now all over the back of Eves. So this could be the difference maker. There is the lap traffic that these guys are fighting now, because you will have to deal with them as they come on around. But right now, Burkhart's in the race lead. Here comes Bowers. He's going to make a move to the inside. This could be for the race win right here. Eves is slowing him up, though, and Eves very slow on those older tires. The engine's still sour on that, and that's going to allow Morris to get a run to the outside. Now Eves back to the bottom, so these guys got to slice and dice through these drivers trying to even make it to the end. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they can make 20 laps. If they can make 20 laps, that's outstanding. But right now, there's Burkhart, your race leader. Looks like he was kind of low there, and Burkhart's bringing it on in. So the 99 comes on in. That's going to give the lead over to Kyle Corbett. Irving Allison, the 63 of Perez. So Burkhart's on in, so give the lead. Now Corbett's going to lead some Cup Series laps here. That's nice to see for that 75 team. And it looks like at this point, they are hoping and praying for a caution. A caution comes out. They are the ones that'll be fighting for this race win. Now Allison comes in. Corbett stays out. And now Disparito is up into the third spot. Lotus Disparito in her debut, they came down. You saw how many times they came down earlier on in this race. In the first caution, they actually came down 3 separate times on pit road to fill it up with fuel in that alternate strategy. So we'll see. Nope, they're coming in now. So Kyle Corbett's still your race leader. As they run, it looks like Perez is still out there. Yepes is coming in. So we'll see what the swap is as they come on around here. There's Onjak is still in this race. Yeah, he's still on the lead lap. So Corbett, Perez, Hagen. Whoa, Hagen close there. But Corbett, Perez, Onjak, Gibson, Friesen, Goforth have not pit yet in this event. Morris is the one out in front. I think I just saw... There's the 75 of Corbett in. So that hands the lead over to the 63, if I'm not mistaken. If I could find the 63. Here's the 33 of Strigley. Bowers all over the back of Porta. There is the 63 coming on in. That's Jose Perez coming on in. So that will give the lead back to Morris on this pit cycle. And he is long gone of the field over Bowers now. And yeah, it looks like everyone else is down pit road and in. So there is your race leader with 14 to go. It's the 55 of Morris. The bump and run on the 25 gave him the track position. Then the lappers kind of played a major role in it. And it looks like the 55 car is about to set himself in for his second win on the season, as he's going to blow by Gibson and Friesen now. Bowers very far back from having to fight the lappers there. Max Anderson in the 36 will cycle back into the third position, so Joseph Strigley Racing is just 13 laps away from their first ever top 5 finish in the NSDCA in that number 36 car. Morris now, don't count Morris out though, or Bowers out. You still got a ton of lap traffic. It looks like caution is out. The yellow is out. Morris has those lappers between him. It's just Goforth now, but Carson Bowers is second. Max Anderson's third, and this race might not be over because now Morris could have just set sail and went home free. Now he might have lap traffic to deal with, and a driver behind him. Cody Goforth is still in that as they're fighting there. Max Anderson letting those guys by. It looks like Kukulon's coming down pit road. But now you're going to have Cody Goforth between the 55 and 25. And we'll see if Carson Bowers can come out here and try to win this race. Don't know what happened. Might have been one of those guys. Burkhart is back in the 22nd position, so this is going to be a horrible day. Eli Bright has some damage. Gatlin Downey does as well. The 33-47 are on pit road. That's to be expected. They came in. They were way off cycle and laps down anyway. But it looks like the 99, 28, 35 have damage. So we'll see what happened there. But out in front is Morris. Thought he could run away with this race win. Had a nice lead. Now it's going to be back up. Now Cody Goforth in the 27 might be the factor there to allow Carson Bowers to get up there to Morris, or to let Brandon have much more of a ease to the race win. It'll be under 10 to go when we go back green, but we got to take a look, see what happened. Bring out this caution here at Nashville. So this fourth incident of the day, Downey's going to force it 3 wide on Strigley, trying to get by. They're going to bounce off of Dusty Neal, and Downey bounces right around the track into Eli Bright. A big hit for the 28 and 33, both catching some air there, but still some torn up race cars here at the end of this one. But a big hit for the 35. He just went 3 wide. They pinched together. It's just a pinball in between, and the 35 bounces all around, back up, and the 28-33 just innocent bystanders on that. On board with Dusty Neal in the 94, looking out the front bumper of that as he was trying to work his way through the field. He was behind the 33. They're going to force him 3 wide, and it's just going to be a bunch of beating and banging down the front straightaway that ends up with multiple cars in the wall. We're going to go ahead, take a quick commercial break, bring us back to the action here at Nashville. Back live a little early here at Nashville. Morris in the race lead. Carson Bowers sits second. Max Anderson sits third. Back and forth is Jay Jefferson. Fifth is Logan Cloud with a great performance today. Austin Murray 6th. Dip Foster 7th. 8th, Adam Mitchell for Harmon Benning Peterson. 9th, Stephen Wallace Jr. 10th, Danny Lloyd in the 42. Then you got Dusty Neal, Kyle Corbett. Lotus Disparito in her debut 13th. Edson 14th. Allison 15th. Perez 16th. 17th, Butcher. 18th, Downey. 19th, Brighton. 20th, Burkhart. Yepes in 21st. Onjak 22nd. DeLello 23rd. Eves 24th. Joseph Strigley 25th. And if I'm not mistaken, the 47 and 33 are somehow back on the lead lap. I guess that strategy of staying out as long as they did gets them back on the lead lap so they could fight for spots. So that's nice to see for those 2 drivers who have been struggling all day. They'll be back on the lead lap and fighting for this, fighting for some spots back there. But Morris has Goforth between them. There's 8 laps to go this time by. A green-white checkered still is in play if something happens on this restart. Green flag's back in the air, though. Morris trying to win this race. Bowers wants to get a race win. Green flag's in the air. Bowers going to try to make short work of Goforth. Gives him the nudge, and he's going to try to move that 27 up the track, but it looks like it's going to be too late there. Can't get a run. Can't get an exit there. And now Bowers is going to look to the inside. Tries to clear Goforth. He will as they come off. Now the sights are set on Morris, and Morris is absolutely gone now in that 55 car. Max Anderson clear into third. He's clear of a couple slower cars, but Morris in the race leading that 55. This season, he got his first career win after 5 years in the NSDCA, struggling in the back, not winning races, winless for so long, and he got the win at Darlington, and now he is 5 laps away from scoring his second victory of the season in the last few races as well. So this 55 team is really showing as a championship threat this year. Carson Bowers in second is starting to turn this season around, but I think it's going to be too little too late again for him to try to win this race in that 25 car as they come down the back there. You see Max Anderson clear to third further back, but Bowers is 18th in points entering this race. He's up in second again, trying to gain any points he can to make a late season charge at the chase. We'll see if Bowers can make it, but Max Anderson, give the hats off to this 36 car up in the third position. A fantastic day for Joseph Strigley Racing, keeping the track position, keeping with the strategy, and keeping that car competitive up in the third spot for the second team. But as they come on around the front straightaway, the gap slowly closing, but with 3 to go, it's pretty much a caution or nothing for Carson Bowers, for him to make a move on Morris. Coming to 2 laps to go for the 55 car, Brandon Morris. He's trying to win this event. Coming 2 to go. He wants the white flag next time by, and he'll join Jay Jefferson as a repeat winner this season. And Bowers, the gap's back up to a second. Doesn't look like he's going to get there. As short tracks go, we have a lot of them, and a lot of times there's shenanigans. There's pit shenanigans. Lap traffic you got to deal with. Moving people out of the way. Bumping runs. And as we hit the white flag, Brandon Morris, who moved that 25 out of the way early. Bowers mounting a charge, but I think it's too late. He gained a lot of time that time. It's not going to happen, though. Through 3 and 4, the bump and run early gets him into the position to win this race. Morris, second win and second career win at Nashville. He gets his second win of the season, second career NSDCA victory, and Butcher Gatorade Motorsports is slowly becoming a powerhouse now, as they have won, I believe, 3 of the last 5 events here in the Cup Series. Max Anderson coming home a very strong third place. Logan Cloud 6th, his highest finish since he came back last time out at Texas World. Danny Lloyd fights for 7th. Look at Adam Mitchell putting the HBP car up to 8th. You also got Brady Burkhardt fighting. He was 22nd late in the race. He's back up into the 12th position at the end. Lotus Disburrito in her debut comes home 15th. Irving Allison 16th. Eves 19th. He got back on the lead lap in that pit strategy there by coming in, and that engine issue got him back on the lead lap by where he was, and brings home CFRO some upgrade points there in that 19th position. Kyle Corbett comes home 20th. Joseph Strigley 23rd. Jose Perez 24th. So what was a good day for JSR is only the 36th. But there you see Larry Hagan involved in that early incident. He's been out the entire time. Cody Goforth a lap down at the end. DJ Gibson as well. Carter Friesen as well. Porta 2 laps down. Kukulon 2 laps down. 4 drivers out, and 3 of them being Monster Motorsports. Not good. A fuel pressure failure in the 05 shut it down and stalled on the track. Curtis ran right into the back of him. And then at opening laps, Austin Johnson got turned by, I believe it was Gatlin Downey, I think, at the beginning of this race. And he came back up into traffic. Big hit for the 95 car. But that was a race here at Nashville. I wouldn't say it was fantastic. I wouldn't say it was bad. It was a nice change of pace, a lot of green flag action, some strategy at the end, and some lap traffic you had to deal with. Of course, it ends with a caution to set up a late race charge, but Cody Goforth being in the middle of that, just how lappers are ruled here in the NSDCA. It's not the best system, but pretty much the only one we got. And Carson Bowers just couldn't catch up to the 55 after that. He was closing in slowly at the end, but it was too little too late for that. But an exciting event here at Nashville brings us another repeat winner of the season and a shocking winner. Brandon Morris picking up his second career win on the season and second career in general. And finally, it looks like he's going to be a championship threat. Entered this race third in points. Curtis is out of it, so that's going to be second place for Morris, and he's going to gain some on Burkhardt, so it might be the original teammates from Burkhardt Morris Motorsports might be the two fighting for this regular season championship if Morris can continue the good streak that Toyota's having up here in the Cup Series. Jay Jefferson's probably going to pick up to the third spot in points after that as well. Tim Foster with a good run today in the 40 car. It looks like, well, never mind. He fell back right at the end, but it was a good run today. He might lose some time. Friesen is going to lose some points, as well as Porta, Onjak, Neal, Kukulon. Pretty much outside of Burkhardt, Morris, and Jefferson, the top 10 in points did not have a good day. Dusty Neal fought back up to 9th, so he might pick up some spots again. But that race is over. We head out next week. I'm pretty sure that week is the Old Spice event at the road course. So we'll be back road course racing in the NSDCA. Great race on hand today, 120 laps down, and it was Brandon Morris coming out with the race victory. Very hard to pass, but that let us that opened up some bumping and banging for spots in the front and in the back. It was a great race to see here at Nashville. We'll be out at Old Spice next week. Hope to see you there for the Mountain Dew Custom Series and Sundrop Cup Series events. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time in the NSDCA.